Hi guys, I'm back with another video. I know it's been a while since I uploaded my other two videos, but I am here. It's so late right now. It's like 12:30 a.m. But I really wanted to get this video out, and it was like time to do it because or else I would have postponed it, but then would have got busy some other day. So no more excuses, guys. This is my nighttime attire, so no judging. But today I come to talk about my move to California. I'm gonna keep it brief, keep it short, and then other questions or anything that you guys may have, I'll do like a separate video. I can do a whole series on this, and I've only been here for going on about 2 years. So any questions or anything that you may have, just let me know. I'm free to answer. So moving to California, I was living in Georgia a few years back. There's so many steps to it, guys. God called me to move. And I know that's like, really, everybody said that God called them to do something. And you know what, I promise you, I'm not one of those. He literally did. I remember being home. So first of all, I remember when I rededicated my life to Christ back in 2021. I rededicated my life to Christ, and I remember the Lord was telling me, like, don't renew your lease on your apartment and basically move to California. But I was like, bro, if I don't renew my lease, I didn't have a good enough job. Like, if I'm being completely honest with y'all, like, I'm like, Lord. So I did the don't renew my lease part, but I didn't do the move to California part. And I mean, the way I knew it was God, I really didn't know the depths back then. But I just remember, by the way, I wanted to move to every other state. Okay. But California was not one of those states. So I knew it wasn't me, but I had this big desire in me to move to California. I called my cousin who used to live in California, and me and him hardly ever talk because he's like in the military. He travels and he's a doctor and does all this stuff. So I was finally able to get a hold of him on the phone, and he called me. No, I called him, and I was asking him, like, I'm like, cuz I want to move to California. And he was like, just make sure you go down, hustle, get your money. And but he was just telling me like the ins and outs of living in California. Like, it's so different because we're both from like small town Georgia. So like me moving to California was like, oh wow, like you want to move there. He was like, your parents ain't just a call away. Like, that's a flight. Like you're on the other side of the country. Like, and he was just telling me the ins and outs. I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like, but he was nevertheless like, you can do it. But I never, no matter what state, I know people in other states, I never thought to be like, hey, like, tell me about this state. But I called him determined, but I never I just had this big desire. I was like, I need to move. I didn't really know it was God then, but it was really God that was telling me. So I didn't know. And then long story short, I would say it was 2020, what's this, 2024, 2022. When I had moved here in November of 2022. So this is a little over a year after I called my cousin. I didn't move right then, but I started watching a church here. Shout out to Revelation Church. I started watching them here, and I just felt so stuck in life, and I'm like, God, I did what you said, but I didn't do everything. But I was like, okay, God, like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I moved here, I did what you said do, and I'll make it another video. Sounds how I know that God told me to move to California. Trust me, it's some good signs. So if you guys want to know, regardless, I'm gonna make a video. So even if you want to know or you don't, I'm gonna make a video telling you the signs that He gave me to move to California. It's my best thing to tell anybody ever, okay? Because when you know the way that God moves and when you know the way that He speaks, then, it just becomes even more beautiful, right? So I was like, God, I just felt so stuck. After I did not renew my lease, I stayed with my sister for a little bit. I stayed with a friend. And then I literally had to move back home with my parents, but I ended up staying with my grandparents. I was like, what am I doing? Like, I feel like I did what you said do, but like, you're telling me to move to California. I ain't got no money. Okay. And then, long story short, God gave me, I started watching this church. And then when I was watching the church, it was like a big desire in me. Like, I started watching them like in like a week later. I was like, I need to go. But it was more like I need to go to the church, but it wasn't more like I need to move to California. So for the first time ever, I took a flight to California, came here. It was really beautiful. It was such a beautiful experience. Was able to go to the church and everything. Did not think I was gonna move here. Nope. Still didn't think. I came, I saw, and I left. Okay. Like that was my whole thinking. And then as time went on, I would say we came in September, the end of September. The end of October, I ended up going to Maryland because of another ministry, but same kind of within the same family. It's another ministry though, and he was having this women's conference. So I went, and anytime I stay in a hotel, God really speaks to me. I heard other people say the same thing. So if you don't feel like God speaks to you, I would recommend going to a hotel. It works. I literally thought that was only me and God's thing, but I always see people say like the shower or a hotel is when God speaks to them the most, and that's the same with me. Being in a hotel, God was truly speak. So I'm talking to God and I'm going through all this stuff, and he's telling me what's going to go on back home. And again, I'll get into that in another video, like once I go back home. And then I got home and it hurt like crap, even though he told me, but like the feelings doesn't go away. But I know that was an opportunity. It was like I heard him louder than the situation that was happening at hand. So I felt like God was telling me even louder than I could imagine, like, you're gonna move, like it's time to move. And literally when the situation happened, and I don't mind telling the situation, but I just want to do it in another video. When the situation happened, I literally looked up and said, God, now? Now? The situation is happening, but I'm like, now? I'm telling you, it's like I heard God louder than whatever was going on. Like, and I was like, oh my God. I had no money saved. I had nothing. I'm like, how am I going to do this? And so I wasn't for sure. God gave me all these signs, and I said, okay, it's time for me to go. I loaded up my car. I'm with my parents, and I tell everybody within like a week I left. I would say about a week. I want to say it was Wednesday when God told me, and I left on that Monday. So, yeah, it was a Wednesday. I left on that Monday, and I drove for the full 30 something hours, like 36 hours from Georgia to California, and I moved. It's been a beautiful journey. It really has. Like, I'm here and I'm walking out on faith. I'm trusting God. Y'all, he has the things that God knows that I want to receive from him and do for him. Here, not to say that you have to go through crap for God to love you or anything. No. But everybody's calling is higher. His calling is different. For me personally, I know what I ask God for. There's a price to pay. But nevertheless, he has been blessing me on this whole journey. I remember when I first got here, I had been here for like 2 weeks. And I remember just being like, I was crying one day, and I'm like, bro, I done made the stupidest decision of my life. What am I doing? Like, I was crying, y'all, crying. And then I felt bad for regretting my decision. So I was like, okay, God, to make it up to you, I'm going to go to church. We know we can't make anything up to God, but he knows our human nature. So my thinking is like, just to make it up to you. So I legit get in my car. No. Yeah, I get in my car and I go to this service that I found out about that happens at the church. And but I didn't know that they had Wednesday night service. So I literally went to Wednesday night service, and this the prophetess who was preaching, the pastor, she called me out. I have the video, but I'm not going to release it yet. But she did call me out. And she was like, you know, God is happy that you came. And I'm like, oh, what? She said, I'm seeing you travel. Like, where are you from? And I'm like, I'm from Georgia. She said, yeah, because I'm seeing you, like, in the spirit traveling over. And she was like, God is happy that you're here. And then she was like, why did you come? So I'm sitting there like, I didn't want to say I feel like God called me, right? Because I was like, that's just going to seem so, because I never wanted to be one of those people. But I was like, I just came, and she was like, yeah, but why did you come? And she looked at me, and in my head, I was like, she already know, just say it. So I was like, I feel like God called me to come. And she looked at me, she said, and what did I tell you? God is happy that you came. And I was like, oh my God, if that hadn't have happened, with the amount of things that happened to me in California, if I did not get that prophecy that night, if that had not have happened, I probably would have went back home with all the stuff that I've endured since I've been here. But that was my fuel, and I feel like, and I know that God knew that I needed that, because again, that day I was crying my eyes out, and I'm like, to make you feel better, God, you know, but like, He knew exactly what I needed in that moment. And I say that to say, a lot of the times when we do what God has told us to do, we think like the grass is just going to be greener on the other side. So you do what He told you to do, and then trouble starts happening and things start happening, and we really question, like, wait, was that guy? Like, I don't think you would tell me to do this if I'm going to go do this. Me coming here, yeah, I'm not going to lie, I thought the grass was greener. Like, I thought things was going to be different, smoother, like everything was going to be lined up perfectly, and I really thought a whole lot of stuff, but it didn't quite work out that way. But I've seen God's hand more than I ever have in my life, and that's the goal. That's what God wants you to see, especially when you want to be used by God, you want to operate with God. He wants you to see His hand in everything more, because He wants to reveal Himself to you. How can He use you for other people, yet you're not believing He's going to show up or be there for you? And that's the word to myself. But yeah, I'm here, guys. I've met good people. I've met bad people. I've met all kinds of different people. I've been through struggles. I've had vulnerable moments. I've had so many tears. So many tears. I was homeless. I was, some nights I didn't eat. Like, I've been through the ringer with some things, but I can tell you that God is good. And if there's anything that He's telling you to do, please go and do it. Now, this isn't to say that, oh, if God tell you this, and you're going to go through trouble and stuff. No. But what God's goal is for you to see Him. And me, I'm always like, God, in there, anything, let you be glorified throughout my life, in my life, around my life, each and every part of my life. May you be glorified. And I feel like that's what He's doing. So this is an encouragement for anybody. I believe if you're watching this video, even if you watched it here to the end, I believe that God is calling you to something, and you're maybe afraid or skeptical about going to do that thing. And yours may not be as big as a move. It could be as big as like changing your name. It could be as big as giving someone a souvenir. Like, it can be anything that's to you that you're like, maybe that's not God. Let me tell you, Jesus is faithful. Do what He tells you to do in the little things, and do it in this full totality. Because I could have been here. I would have been here if I would have moved in 2021. I would have been here for what, 3 years now? I would have been here for 3 years. I've only been here going on 2 years. So, which, not to say that that means anything, but I'm just saying, sometimes I think, how differently would my life have turned out? I think I would have been a little worse off if I would have came in 2021 when I feel like he was telling me to come. However, God has truly graced me. You know, the way he has graced me, I'm not really too worried. I'm not really worried. I mean, literally, I got everything going on. Like, and here's the thing. People told me, don't do it. I was being crazy. I was being outrageous. I was being everything you can name. Like, gullible, everything. Like, I've been called names and I've looked crazy. But hearing that God, and it makes me very emotional, hearing that God is saying he's happy that I came, seeing him walk throughout my life and being with me and being with me in every step of my life, that's priceless. So for me, you can say what you want, you can do what you want, but my God is happy and he's pleased with me. And at the end of the day, at the end of the world, when we have to meet God face to face, the ones who know Jesus, he's going to look at, well, he's not going to judge your sins. Jesus died for those. He's going to judge, what did you do? When I told you to do this, what did you do? When I told you to operate this way, did you do it? Why didn't you do it? That's our judgment. So I'm not saying I can do everything that God tells me to do, and he has truly graced me. That's why we should always pray for more grace. But I can say that this is one that, and God has told me to do many things that I have done, but this is one that I know when I get to heaven, I'll have a crown, a jewel on my crown, because I did what he told me to do. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about this whole experience. So yeah, by far it's not the perfect experience, but at the same time it's as perfect would get, you know. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing. But guys, I'm out here in California. I'm doing the thing. Any questions that you may have, again, I am gonna make a video about like signs, how I know that God told me to move here. Like, I'm gonna make that video because it's a really, really good. That's a really good one. I'm actually excited to make that. I'll probably make that one tomorrow because it's a really good one. It's so, it's a profound one that you will know that God truly speaks to you. If he tells you to do something, you will know that it's God. And this one for me was, I love when I think about the signs that he gave me, because it reminds me like, yeah, you're on the right track. It may not be as peachy as you thought it was going to be, but it's really good. So yeah, guys, that's everything. If you have any questions or anything, drop them in the comments. If you feel like God is telling you to do something, I pray that the Lord gives you the boldness to go out and do what he has said do. No matter if people call you crazy, vulnerable, gullible, anything, do it. Let me tell you something. This is just to encourage you guys. My friends who are Christian, the people who I walked this Christian life with, they were the main ones that was criticizing me for doing what God has called me to do. The friends that aren't so, not that they don't love Jesus, but they're not as, I guess, Christian or anything is the word. The people that I love and they don't go to church with me, we're not praying together and stuff, they were the ones that was like, girl, do it. Long as the Lord is with you, you're good. Like, you go out there and you do it. You go. Those are the people. So listen, from the people that you think you'll hear the encouragement and yeah, go out and do it from, chances are it won't be them. Chances are it'll be your other people or people who is unexpectedly. And nevertheless, you appreciate both, because the ones who are with you, they just want what's best for you, but then also the other ones, they are the ones who make the world go round as well. So yeah, guys, I love you guys, and you have a good night. Peace.